elephant comes and it steps. Then it stamps all these accidentally. It stamps the red colony one. Okay, so all the red beetles died. Only the blue ones were left. So they form only blue will be left. Okay, so their generation will continue, and this is genetic drift. Okay, and in third situation, what is happening here is the plant where the beetles are eating, it has some disease. Because of that, the beetles are not getting the nutrition, so they are reduced in size. After some time, what will happen is the tree, the disease will go, it will get eliminated, and the beetle can grow normally. Here there is no genetic change. Okay, only the phenotype change is there. Okay, now we have acquired and inherited trait. Acquired and inherited. So what is that? In acquired trait, what happens is, during a lifetime of an organism, they may have some trait like swimming or all that. That is acquired during their lifetime. They have learned. In the next generation, it is not going to pass down. They have to, the children, they have to learn it. That is acquired trait. Okay, and in inherited trait, what is that? It is inherited from their parents. Okay, they got it from their parents, the traits which they are getting it from their parents. That is the difference. So if we have mice, okay, or we cut its tail, okay, then we are allowed it to reproduce. Then the next, when young ones will be born, there will be tailless mice or normal mice. Can anyone say? There will be normal mice. Okay, so here there is no change in the reproductive tissues. Okay, no change in the germ cells. Only here change is occurring in the non-reproductive parts. Okay, that's why that tailless mice, it is acquired. Our hair color, eye color, shape of nose or ear robe, those are inherited traits. Now, origin of life on Earth. This Darwin, first thing, before that we have to learn this Darwin. He was the person who gave this evolution, okay, of the natural selection, which we have learned previously. Now, Darwin's theory told us about the evolution, right? How it is evolved from simple to more complex form. And in Mendel's experiments, what we got, we got the inheritance of traits, right? Passing of the genes from one generation to the next. But both of them, they didn't tell how the life on Earth happened. Okay, so in 1929, okay, JBS Haldane, this guy, what he proposed a theory that simple life, right, life originated from simple or inorganic molecules. Okay, and this, what happens here is this, inorganic molecules, there will be some changes and they will form organic molecules by chemical reaction, and after that, more complex forms they will form, and this is called organic evolution. So, and this thing, Stanley L. Miller and Harold C. Urey, they experimented this to support this theory. What do they did? They created an atmosphere, right, like early Earth, and temperature, everything, they maintain below 100 degrees Celsius, and after that, sparks, right, they were passed through the gases, and lightning were occurring, and after a week, what happened? 15% of the carbon from CH4, right, it was converted into simple carbon compounds, including amino acids. Okay, Early Earth, what did it contain? Hydrogen, ammonia, methane, hydrogen sulfide, water vapor, but no oxygen. Okay. Now, next, speciation, right? What is that? It is the development of new species from the existing species. Okay. When how does this happen? It happens when two population, right? They are isolated, both geographically and reproductively. Because of that, gene will not flow, and what will happen? Their inbreeding, right? It will not continue, but the inbreeding within themselves, it will continue, and more generation will be produced, right? Suppose one group in this and the second group, okay, they are separated. They are in some other place and they are in some other place, okay. Now here, what will happen here? This group, many persons are here, and this also, many persons are here, okay. And after that, this inside this, they will reproduce by themselves, and here also they will reproduce by themselves. And what will happen? Generation to generation, next generation, there will be many variation occurring. Well, variation will accumulate, and what will happen here? When they are meeting again, they won't be able to reproduce. Okay, so the new species will be formed in this case, because this will be different from other. Now, this new species may have developed if DNA changes are several enough, okay? If the DNA changes are large enough, and such as the change in number of chromosome, and because of that, fusion will not happen. The gametes won't fuse. And also, sometimes what will happen? New variation will occur in which the females are only able to mate with few males due to their specific trait. Now, evolution and classification. Okay. Now, evolution, it is a process from which new species are made, right? From the pre-existing one. It is a gradual process, slow process. Because there will be, what will happen in the gene? There will be modifications. And this is slow, continuous, and irreversible process. Now, what is characteristic? Characteristic are details of appearance or behavior. Okay. So, for example, what this forelimb of human is the characteristic of that human beings, and plants can perform the photosynthesis. It is the characteristic of the plant. And the classification, what is that? It is the arrangement of the organism into series of group based on this characteristic, this physiological, biochemical, anatomical, and other relationship. Okay, and this thing, right? It is hierarchical. Means they are in stages. Okay, order. So basic characteristic of an organism, what is that? Cell is the basic unit of all living organism. In the ninth class you have learned. And cells of some organs do not have organized nucleus. What are those called? The organism where there is no organized nucleus. They have nucleoid. What are those organisms called? Can anyone tell? Prokaryotes. Okay. For example, the bacteria cell. Whereas other cells, right, they have organized nucleus, well organized nucleus. That means they will be having nucleus, and they will be also having the cell organelles. And among them, among the well organized nucleus organism, there will be some unicellular and some multicellular, right? Some will be having only one cell, some will be having many cells. Okay. Among the multicellular, what is that? Some can produce their own food, others they will not be able to do that. And also other difference is also there, right? In the multicellular organism and unicellular organism, some multicellular organism, what is there? The skeleton, right? They will be having endoskeleton, and others they will be having endoskeleton. Outside the body they will be having skeleton. Okay, all this thing. Now, evolutionary relationship with classification. So the more closely two species are related, the more characteristic they will be have in common. Okay, so more closely they are related, the more common character they will be having. Okay, now and the more they are closely they are related, they will be having the recent common ancestors. Now we can understand this by like this: a brother or sister, right? They are closely related and they have common ancestor. What is that? Parents, their parents. Now a girl or and her first cousin, they are closely related, but that girl, right, that sister, right, she is not this cousin, right, they are not less related to brother. Okay, so cousins have common ancestor, that is grandparents, right? Cousin is not that closely related to brother or girl. So they will be having the common ancestor as their grandfather. In classification, they show how closely organisms are related with respect to evolution. Now, tracing evolutionary relationships. So in order to look, right, we have to look the common features. According to Darwin, right, more closely related species have evolved from common ancestor. So, see, the characteristic and fundamentally similar structure suggests the possibility of common ancestor. Such phenomenon of similarity of structure due to common ancestry, it is known as homology. And such organs are called what? Homologous organs. So homologous organ, what their structure, right? It will be similar. Structure will be similar, but their function will be different. Like forelimbs of the frog, lizard, birds, man. Right, their forelimb, right, their hand, this forelimb, it is similar. The structurally they are similar because they have common ancestor. But the thing is, their function is different. Frog will use it to for jump, lizard for the crawling on the wall, bird for flying, man, what is that, for holding or walking, all that. Okay, they are performing different functions. Now, analogy or analogous organs. Here, what will happen here is the organs here, right? They have different origin. They don't have the common ancestor, but they are performing same function, right? Like the wings of bat and insect. They are performing same function, that is flying. But their ancestor is different and their structure of the wing is different. Those are called analogous organ. Now, next, fossils. These, what are these? These are preserved traces of living organism that lived millions of years ago. So it is not necessary that every dead organism, right? They all the parts of their organs are decomposed. Sometimes what will happen? A dead insect, they will be caught in mud, and because of that, that insect will not get decomposed quickly. And what will happen? The mud will harden. Because of that, there will be some impression. Okay, when you take your thumb and put ink on your thumb and press it in a paper, you will find the impression, right? The same way. So this, right, this will provide the what? Presence of insect, and it will also tell the structure of that insect. And this fossil Archaeopteryx, this fossil, right, this was the link between birds and reptiles. Here they found they found that beak like this fossil, right, they had beak like birds, but teeth and tail, it was like reptile. So this was considered that that bird has evolved from the reptiles. If we dig the earth, right, we'll find fossils, and deepest layer will be the oldest fossils. Now, how does the fossil forms? Fossils, right, are found layer by layer in sequence. It is very slow process, okay? and it will depend on where the organism is dying. Generally, fossils are formed from hard parts of the organism, such as tree trunk or skull. Tree trunks or skull, not soft parts. Soft part will get decomposed easily. So hard parts are the main thing. See, how does this happen? About 100 millions ago, some invertebrates were they died on seabed, and they got buried in the sand. As time passes, what will happen? More sand will accumulate, right? And it stands soon. It will settle down, and this invertebrate, right? This layer, invertebrate layer, it will be under more pressure because layer upon layer, the pressure is applied, right? More muds and sands are coming. And next, millions of years, what will happen? How is this? The dinosaur also died, right, in the area, and their body will also get buried in the mud, and the mud also will get compressed into rocks, and uh, over the what earlier rocks containing the invertebrate fossils. First the invertebrates, then the dinosaur, then what is that? Again 100 millions years later, again the body horse like creature, they will be fossiled in rocks. Okay, so first was the invertebrate, then dinosaur, then horse like creature. So later what will happen? By erosion or water flow or digging, they will find the fossils. First they will find the horse like fossils, horse creature one. Next they will find the dinosaur one. The last one they will find the invertebrates, layer by layer. Okay, this is how the fossils are formed. Here the example is given of the crocodile. Next, evolution by stages. This complicated organs such as eyes are not selected by single DNA change. Such complex organs are created by what? Bit by bit, okay? Generation to one generation to next generation. See, also there are some changes which are useful for one property to start, but eventually become useful for quite different function. Like, for example, feather have evolved to provide insulation in cold weather, but later were adapted to be used for flight in animals like birds. First, right, feather was used for what? For insulation, for cold weather, evolution. After that, in dinosaur also they had feather, but they didn't use it for flying. We can infer birds are very closely related to reptiles since dinosaurs were reptiles. Sometimes dissimilar appearing structure will also evolve from common ancestor. And this evolutionary relationship, this can be established by studying fossil. One example, right? It is wild cabbage plant. Humans, they have cultivated white cabbage for more than 2000 years as food plant and generated different vegetable from it by selection, okay, by artificial selection. Varieties like cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, red cabbage, kohlrabi, and kale, they are evolved from common ancestor. Wild cabbage, from wild cabbage only these all are evolved. This tracing of evolutionary relationship, right, it depends on what? That original idea that changes in DNA during reproduction are basic events of evolution. Okay, changes in DNA during reproduction are basic events of evolution. So DNA are compared. Now, evolution versus progress. Evolution, it should not be equated with progress. Progress, it is the result of human what? Deliberately working to improve things or creating new ideas, all that. But evolution, what is that? Evolution, it is the formation of new species over what? Long period of time. And it will be depending on the environment, right? It occurs due to natural selection, genetic drift, All right. Okay. Next, we have human evolution. The tools, right, which are used for studying human evolution, anything, or evolution between the organism, the evolutionary relationships, all that. What is that? First is this excavating, that is digging, time dating, studying fossil, and determination of DNA sequence. Okay, before what was used? Skin color was used for the diversity form of humans, but now we have all the fossils, DNAs. Now, how the evolution of the humans? How did this happen? So here we have given Homo sapiens, all human being, right? They came from the single species. The earliest member of the human species is Homo sapiens. This, right? They were in Africa. Um, a couple of 100,000 years ago, some of our ancestors, right? They left Africa, while others they stayed there only. So the residents spread across Africa and they migrated towards other, not planet, other continent, okay, other places like West Asia, Central Asia, Eurasia, South Asia, East Asia, Indonesia, all this, Philippines, Australia, America. So they didn't go in the straight line and they were not traveling because they were not visiting, okay, they were going there to settle, and they instead went forward and backward with group separating from each other, or sometimes, right, they will come back together also. So all, like all other species in our planet, right, they had come into a existence as an accident of evolution. Because of evolution only we have come, right? Because they from Africa they went to other places because there was more demand, or any they wanted more opportunities, all that, depending on their surroundings, right? They left there and they went to other places. That's how the evolution happened. Okay, our chapter, this chapter is over. Any doubt here? Roshni, Safia, Rudnil? Okay, Safia, how much chapter over in your school?
I think the evolution part wasn't coming in the boards though, so we haven't done that.
Oh, okay. And this, the other chapters are coming, right?
Yes,
Life
mom.
process,
Mom, what's the one after this?
this environmental, our environment, this one, it's coming. It's done in your school, right? Our environment,
No, not completely.
not
We
completely.
will just start a few topics because we're gonna have our pre-boards soon, like in 1 week. So some topics have been left out.
Okay, so it will not come, or it will come. I think it will come, right? This management of natural resources.
No, mom, I don't think that chapter is there.
Okay, this chapter is not there. For Rudnil and Roshni,
No, mom, we also don't have.
okay, this chapter is there and this chapter is not there. Next chapter we are going to start with our environment, okay, and you will be having test. After this our environment, right? I complete this, then we'll have test. Okay, is it fine?
Yes, mom.
Yeah, test series will also start, so get ready. Okay, then you guys can leave. Bye bye,
Okay,
take care.
thank you, mom.